Okay, great. Looks like we're back on track here. Just gave the computer a little bit of time to cool down. So I'm going to make this 10. Going to make the height of this 10. Going to make the height of this 10. Okay, so it's all leveled out, looking good. Let's group everything again. And group it. Group. Great, and let's make the height of, let's just check everything's been grouped. Oh, what's this? That doesn't look like it's 10, so let's ungroup again. Click on that, what's that? No, it's 10. Does that look a little odd? Ah, that's not joined. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that in a tiny bit. Let's just look at it from top view and bring that in. Okay, great. Let's make that 0. That's great. It should be okay. It's not joined. Oh, that means I've just moved it in 0.5 millimeter. Okay, group. Now that looks proper. Okay, I'm going to make this 2. Okay, and that now makes these screw holes at 2.5 because these are just at ½ millimeter. I just need to ungroup this. This come across. I need to ungroup it again. That now looks as though it is ready. So let's just drag that in. Great. Done. Now you've got to be very careful that you don't mess with the symmetry. I'm quite confident that that was okay. So that's ready. Lids are ready. Base is ready. If you want to, you can place this on top and raise it up by 2. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put the holes into this. Now I'm just going to do this very simply by placing 3 holes on this side and 1 hole on that side, because on the PCB that's what it looked like. I hope I've got the orientation of the PCB the right way around. Each of these holes I want to make them 3 millimeters big. Okay, brilliant. And I'm just going to make this. We can make this 2, or we can make this. Let's make it 2. And let's zoom right in. All right, and let's rotate it. It's not rotating the right way. Excuse me. Sometimes it's better to make it taller, so it. There we go. That's 90. That. Oh, I won't do that. Make it taller because then basically it's easy to see what you're doing with the rotation of it. Okay, great. So let's raise this up. From the base it's 3 and the sides I think were 10, so let's raise it up from the floor. I mean 4 is probably fine, and let's get that in place. So actually before that I want to copy that and bring it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and do the same this way. Copy that, paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks pretty equal. I'm not going to be too picky. I'm going to group these 3. Oh, before I do that I need 1 more. The other side. Push that back all the way. Okay, great. good. I'm not going to be too kind of perfectionist with the placing of it. Just going to push it through. And I think actually I will make these longer because I can't be bothered to kind of worry about the surface of lining up the surface per se, like I had to do with the screw fixture. So I'm just going to make this a bit longer, make it 4, and that way I know they're definitely going to go through. 4. Actually, if I just group these now, I'm happy with how they are, and I'm just going to make collectively make them 4, and then I can just place these. There we go, that's fine. Happy with that. It's pretty centered anyway. I could center this actually a little bit more. Oops, undo. Once again, they're quite small, so you have to make sure you're not touching anything. That looks pretty centered. I'm pretty happy with that. There we go. Select everything, group it one last time. Okay, and that's it pretty much. Okay, so you could also create casings, and I think it would be a good idea if we created a casing for the push to make switch as well, but basically so that can actually be screwed in sideways. So I'll just very quickly do that. The LEDs as well you could create little casings for. What I'm going to do very quickly is create a little sort of casing for that push to make switch, and then you can kind of screw it in place. Also, we could create little kind of cable tidies. So I'll just quickly do both of those. I'm going to take this again, copy it, move it down. Okay, now the this is 10.4, that's the sort of diameter. I'm going to copy that as well, paste it, and that's going to be, we'll turn that into a hole for use. Okay, once you've got all your little kind of component bank, you know, it's great. I'm just going to take this out of the way. Take this out of the way. Those are all our pieces. We want those flat on our bed because basically we can 3D print those as flat separate pieces. The casing you can actually join together if you want. In fact, it's probably a good idea if we do that. I'm going to raise this up 2, and I'm just going to join the 2 together, and we'll just align them. Perfect, perfect. And we will take these things out of the way, and we'll join them. Cool, that's our casing base. It'll be 3D printed from the base upwards, so that's absolutely fine. Right, so back to business on this. I'm going to just make this into a hole shape. And what I want to do is I'm just going to have a casing for this. Actually, I don't want to make this a hole shape. I want to make it solid. Copy that, paste it, and that's what I want to make my hole. This I'm just going to make bigger by 2, so I'll make it, for the sake of making everything easy, I'm going to make it 12 by 12. And I'm going to make the height of this 20. And I am going to add on the sort of screw fittings or fixtures so that this can be sort of vertical. So the way I'm going to do that is by rotating everything around to the screw fixtures instead of the other way around, and then I'll rotate everything back once it's sort of like an assembly. So I'm going to make the height of these 2.5, and I'm going to copy that, paste it, and mirror it this way. Great, so you can kind of start to see what I'm going to be doing with these. unaligned it. Just pan over here. My very busy workshop starting to look like. And I'm going to just line these up. And I'm going to rotate this. Let's see, 90 degrees. Okay, now we know that this is a diameter of 12, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use this hat and bring it down into the ground by -6. And that should have everything centered. Okay, great. So that's actually below the work plane. Probably actually before I should do that, I should place this inside of this and make a hole. It's a little misstep that I forgot about. Yeah. Good. Right, you probably spotted that. Great. So that's my case basically for my push to make switch. I can do the same for the LEDs if I want to, and I could create little kind of cable tidies this way as well, which is really cool. So that's I'm dropping that in 6. I could actually raise up the other things 6 as well if I wanted to, but I'm going to do it this way because there's one component there and there's 2 components there. So the gap here I want to have, I'm going to actually get these together. Then I'm going to take them apart, and I'm going to have a gap of 6. So 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now this should slot perfectly between the two. Okay. Let's just do a little bit of alignment. So I'm going to use this here. Pan over to it. Great. Okay, so let's use a bit of alignment. Center everything. No, don't want to do that. Do that. Align. Do that. Yeah, great. And we want to, I think what I'm going to do with these two first, I'm just going to group these two. So they're kind of glued in a way. And that way I should be able to align them a little bit better. Like that, yes. Now you might notice that this is kind of sitting there like that. Oh, this is actually raised up a bit as well, hasn't it? That's absolutely, I'm going to raise this up to, I just wanted to kind of have that all aligned. So I'm going to raise this actually up to the, oh it's actually, yeah, bring it up to 0 actually. I didn't need to, I wanted to kind of have it sort of sunk into the plane just so that I could think about maybe having these centered along the side of it, but actually looking at this I need to have this actually sitting flush on the side of the cable tidy. So I should have actually had this casing just sitting actually on the actual work plane, so zeroed to the plane, not sunk through the plane. Right, okay, so I'm going to take this, I can copy this actually, I'm going to paste it, place that over this again, and I'm just going to move it back a bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this back so that it's there, because one of the things I'd like to do on this is just put a base on it. This I'm going to ungroup and get rid of this hole, and that should now give me a nice solid base. So check that. What's this? Oh, I see, it's just remained in 2 colours, that's fine. So it's kind of done that proportionally. I don't really mind about that. Okay, these, I'm going to ungroup these. And I'm going to ungroup these again. And you're going to see why. I've got this square bit, which actually I can now just pull across through the entire shape without selecting everything, of course, obviously first. And that just touches the other shape. Oh, not quite. Let's do it one more time. now it does. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to ungroup absolutely everything again, because the problem with this at the moment is if you look inside of this, you'll see that that's actually gone through and it's interrupting our casing. So I'm going to ungroup this. So you should see, yes, and then I'm going to once again regroup everything, and that should hopefully cut through. Yes, very nice. And that, if you want to print it this way, you can do. If we rotate this back up 90 degrees, and we'll have to raise it up because it's sunk through the floor, so to speak. Bring that up to 0. That is the casing that we can screw to the side of our, and I'll just group everything. That is the casing that you can, I need to regroup everything, excuse me. The reason why I got a little confused is the colour is multicolor. I'm just going to make it one colour, which is red. That's now the casing for our push to make switch. You can use a little bit of epoxy resin in there if you want to. Same thing with the P.C.B. inside of the casing, like a little drop of, or even some double-sided foam, sort of sticky tape. I am going to say that we could use this again. We could recycle this for the LEDs, in theory, or we could also recycle this. I'm going to copy and paste it. For the for like maybe making little tidies, cable tidies for the cables of the LEDs, because you don't want to have cables everywhere. Even though we'll have the cables sleeved, you don't want to have them everywhere for let me just do that again. You don't want to have them everywhere inside of your cable tidy, because that's just a little bit dangerous. So a good way of having them is to maybe just have, we ungroup everything here again, having them sort of tidied away. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just recycle this component by ungrouping it. And I'm going to keep most of this, but I'm going to make it a bit smaller so it's like less obtrusive. Let's ungroup that again. Good. Alright, is this back now? I'll just delete this now. Oh, do I have to delete that bit as well? Yeah, it looks like it. Right, I'm going to make this smaller. So let's see, I'm going to make this, that was 12, it's kind of diminished a little bit somehow. Doesn't really matter so long as the diameter inside has stayed the same, 10.4. Hope it has. Yes, it has. That's all that matters. I'm going to make this, first of all I'm going to make this 6. Okay, so it sits back. That's actually come apart, I see, that's fine. So it actually sits back perfectly on here. I'm going to give this, I'm going to make this sort of cylinder shape. I'm going to make this 6, and I'm going to make the sides 6. Just zoomed in there, it's pretty cool. I'm going to make, so that's the whole. I want to kind of keep that centered if I can. So let's make this as well. Let's go to this. I want to make this 6. I'm going to make this 6. Okay, and one of those, let's get rid of that. Undo. I can get rid of this now. It's all kind of coming apart because it was when I originally made the casing, the push to make switch, I made it in different parts to kind of just make it look realistic. I'm going to group this again. Good. And then I'm going to center everything. using the alignment. Very good, and I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to make this. I'm going to copy this, paste it. Let's undo that. Still on the line. Copy, paste. I'm going to make this 8 by 8. I'll make that 6. Keep the length the same. I need to make the height sort of 8. Good. Right, excellent. I'm going to move this over. So this and this I want to be aligned. That's already aligned perfectly. I'm going to just temporarily group this. Oh no, I can just move this over. This is fine. If I just move it over using the buttons. There we go. That's perfectly aligned. I'm going to take this and this. Can you take both? It's a bit tricky. I'm going to move that back for 1 sec. There we go. Makes it a bit easier. This is going to be a hole, so I'm going to make this actually longer. I'll make it 10. Yeah, I'm going to move that back through the other side. And I'm going to align these two together, like so. So that hole is actually off the ground. And I am going to bring this back to this. I'm going to deselect everything, and just this, and just the case. Oh, did that move? Yes, it did. Just the case. This thing here, and this. And I'm going to align those, center them. Happy with that. Group the whole. Before I group it, I need to make that a whole. Make the whole thing and group it. There we go. Perfect. So we've got a nice little cable tidy there as well. It's floating off the ground, so I'll take that back down to 0. And you can just copy those. You could make like 5 or 6 of those, and they're done. Okay, that's it. Very, very long tutorials there. I'm going to sort of divide these up and load them up separately. So as requested, I have put these on for you so that you can actually design these at home, or sort of whenever you have time at school, and we can use these and have these files ready for next week to be 3D printed. Okay, see you soon. Hope you're all well, and I hope that this was helpful for you. I think that this is a really good way of learning how to use Tinkercad. I certainly learned a couple of things myself along the way. Fusion 360, obviously that's something that you could also do this on, although some of the things are slightly different. Quite a few of the things are quite similar. I've just used this because of ease of access for everybody. So anyway, hope you're all well. Hope this was helpful, and I'm signing off now, and I will be putting this on as a second video.